Lee, have you been able to determine the molecular structure of this individual?
We figured out that he's mostly carbon.
Really? And Lee, have you been able to, uncover any clues that could lead to the secrets to his immortality?
I'm mad.
What did I say? I don't even remember what it was. Oh, okay.
I might keep that though, because I don't think anyone wants to read it.
That's kind of a funny, Lenny and Carl thing.
Does 007 have any hidden meaning, like the code name? Does it stand for anything?
7-Eleven, maybe?
Well, I don't know how you got that, but
How did you get that? It's just another number.
Okay. 911.
Do octopuses have vaginas?
They have a vagina on each tentacle.
And instead of suckers on the tentacles, it's little vaginas.
That is one hell of a name for a movie. Never Say Never Again, which had Connery. They brought him back.
Right.
And they're competing. I think Octopussy won. How could you compete with a movie called Octopussy?
Yeah, which one are you going to go say? Never Say Never Again or Octopussy?
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, they got Sean Connery. Oh, I know. We'll call it Octopussy. So there's a scene in that movie where James Bond actually mentions that he could piss really far.
That's from all the STDs.
Maybe at the beginning of the movie, Q gave him a piss cannon or something, knowing that was going to come up.
Now he's like Inspector Gadget. Go Gadget, piss cannon!
That is quite a theory. I agree with it.
Well, hot damn.
They should hire you for the script writing.
I'm available.
I think the world of the Muppet Babies could all just be imagination. It could be a dream. But I think they could be real people imagining that they're Muppets, and they're all sharing the same imagination.
Oh, so it's like a real baby having a dream?
It could be like babies having fucked up dreams. It's like Inception, but with Muppets.
They must be crack babies that be having that kind of a dream.
Muppet Babies.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Muppet Babies.
Adult Muppets.
Okay, do it one more time. How'd that look?
Looked good to me.
Kyle, if you can kind of tilt the whole thing down a little bit.
Whole thing.
Yeah, have the letters facing us more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see? Can you see the letters in
And
here?
a little bit more into Lee's neck. A little deeper.
Yeah, right about there.
A little more death for Lee this time.
Try to hit the part of my brainstem that controls bowels.
Now, why is Kermit on Sesame Street and the Muppets?
I think that Kermit has a secret double life. So he lives on Sesame Street, but he hides all of his other family and friends from...
Is it because he's in an interspecies relationship and they wouldn't tolerate that on Sesame Street?
Yeah, that's true. Sesame Street is family friendly, and maybe they don't want to hear about a pig and a frog relationship.
In the future, frogs are evil. We all know that. The only person who can defeat the evil frogs is the all-powerful Kermit himself. So they send a Kermit Terminator, a Kerminator, back in time. So they put Kermit on both shows to confuse the Kerminator.
So what if you have to transport and there's no Vulcan around to ass blast the bacteria off of you?
Well, you're fucked.
But anyway, the fly.
Where did that come from? Jesus. That's great. I don't know if I can use it, but it's great.
Otherwise, we could teleport to heaven, and that just would be cheating. I say that ending again.
That's very spiritual.
Yes, he suddenly got all deep with it.
I guess Jim is Christian.
I just thought it was funny. I think it has a Christian undertone, but it's just funny. I don't know. God invented them so that we can't invent transportation. Because if we did, then we can transport to heaven. And that just would be cheating, Fuck, let me try again. Nature had to invent flies because flies are... With teleportation, we could never invent it. Because every time we do... Here we go.
Don't look at Mike.
Okay, I won't. I don't know why that is, but it's just... transportation. Because if we did, then we could just transport... Fuck! Basically, we could never invent a teleport... Otherwise, we could transport to heaven. And that'd be cheating.
Or hell.
That's where you're gonna go!
Ah!
Fuck.
So who is creating the furniture that Pee-wee gets?
Exactly.
Oh, well, they're living furniture. It's not like they're created. Like there must have been like a father. Like Cherry had like a father and a mother, and they gave birth to Cherry.
In the forest?
Yes, in the forest.
You do it again. Sorry.
Cherry came to live with him,
Okay.
and that's why she loves it when he sits on her.
Okay.
Cherry always says, "Sit on me, sit on me," and Pee-wee says, "Okay, I'll sit on you now, Cherry." There's no money. There's no money. There's no money at all. He doesn't need money.
Well, there goes like 10 of the questions we had. So how about?
What were the other questions you had about Pee-wee?
It doesn't even matter anymore. But,
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, how does Cowboy Curtis shoot neon lassos?
Well, it's the land of imagination. Like anything's possible in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
That explains almost everything on the show. People think that Pink Floyd synced their album Dark Side of the Moon so that it would like play along with the movie. You start the movie on the third line roar on the MGM logo, and then the album syncs up. But that's not true. They never synced that up with the movie. Really, what happened was they synced the movie up with the album. You see, MGM had a time machine, and they went to 1973, got Dark Side of the Moon, they brought it back to 1939, and then the editors were listening to it while they were cutting the movie. Where they got the time machine, we don't know. That's the greatest mystery of all time. But is it any coincidence that MGM made the time machine? The special effects in that movie were a little advanced, wouldn't you say? That was real time travel captured on film. That was the real time machine. The Wicked Witch of the East had like the striped like socks, which I think look kind of like Nanny, so I think maybe Nanny was the Wicked Witch of the East.
Man, this Nanny is quite the character.
She gets around.
Is that same house that crushed her? Is that the Muppet Baby house?
The Muppet
That's why it
Baby
fell
house.
from the sky, because it fell from space. Now I know it's supposed to be like Dorothy's house,
Yeah, from
and all that, and
Kansas.
it goes through the tornado. But maybe it's not. Maybe Dorothy's house landed somewhere else.
The tornado was a wormhole.
How do the ghosts transport? Because the dog things seem to be able to appear kind of at will. Vince Clortho and Zool. The dogs can just sort of appear inside of a couch or inside of a fridge or whatever, but then the other dog chases Lewis all around town instead of just like reappearing somewhere else.
What's a dog? It probably likes, the thrill of the chase.
So that's just a dog within the ghost that's chasing him.
That's a really good point. Like he could have just teleported in front of Lewis and caught him.
Yeah, what was the
Exactly.
point?
It seems like Gozer's plan is a little haphazard.
They could just stick their dick in and start pissing all over the ghost.
I think it's way easier for them to just wait for the ghosts that want to, waft up through the floors while they're sleeping to just, do their thing.
Oh my god.
They finally started marketing those marshmallows, and now they got the Stay Puft caffeinated marshmallows.
They really do?
Yeah,
Yeah, they do. We've had some.
Took them a while. They collected all that marshmallow when it splattered all over New York City, and they've been saving it like in a warehouse for like 25 years or something, and like now they finally started, turning them into little marshmallows and selling them.
Oh, so it's the actual marshmallows from the Marshmallow Man?
Yeah, no wonder they're so expensive.
There's only a limited amount.
There's a limited
They're good.
supply. Yeah.
They're good. There, sponsor us.
Mike, can you agree with something Matt says? Can you disagree with something Matt said?
I'm a good actor, aren't I?
Can you,
Sorry. I won't look at you.
now, Steph, you agree, Mike, you disagree? And vice versa?
Alright, probably tone it down.
Now, can you, can you do that again, not as over the top?
What? Am I agreeing?
No, Mike.
That's what I saw her
Mike,
doing out of the corner of my eye, so I did it.
Mike, can you agree a little less and, Matt, be really into it, and Lee, just kind of be, like, waiting for your horse tranquilizer or your horse injection. Like
I don't know that emotion. That was a foreign emotion to me.
He's really excited about the horse tranquilizer.
Now look over at Mike. And then to Steph. Now the two of them are going at it. I meant verbally.